Welcome to this week's Spinfoil Theory. We're about to take a dive into the lore of Destiny the game. Specifically, we'll be giving a high-level scrutiny to popular, emerging, and outlying theories, then judging them. With that out of the way, let's put on our Spinfoil hats and get a little crazy. Here comes this week's show.
Click a
We're
release.
live. We're here.
Yes.
We're doing it.
Hopefully.
Doing it live. Oh,
we're
man.
not actually live. We're fake live.
It's recorded live in front of a non-studio audience.
Yes. Something like that.
Oh no, like a non-audience. Forget words.
Words are hard. It's okay.
Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory podcast, everyone. We are your hosts. This is LadyLucida, Taylor, and LadyLucida. How are you this week, Lucy?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome.
I beat the raid on contest, so I'm very proud of my team. I did actually say last episode, because even though we recorded it beforehand, that I was like, I hope we beat it. We beat it, because we're crazy. And definitely that 48 hours helped. I mean, we did get to the boss day one, but I think having that extra little bit for us to really focus up and look at our DPS and how we can improve it, and doing some more testing, really helped. And we beat it. And we're all a bunch of gamers.
So cool.
And I love them all so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just like I was saying earlier.
I just want Bungie to give us our emblem, please. Please give emblem.
Please give emblem. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Like I was saying earlier, like so proud. So proud of the co-host clan.
Heck yeah.
Oh, that's super cool news. And the raid, like I've had a chance to complete the raid too. Not in contest mode. I did peek in with a couple lore guys like into those first couple rooms. We were able to kind of like 3-4 man our way in. But not past the first encounter really. I was doing my best sword jumping to to look at the 6-assed horse. But so that was fun, but actually doing it and the now out preservation mission has been awesome.
I really like that Bungie.
Such a cool raid.
Kind of let solo players kind of experience at least the first area. Like you do the same thing to open the door, but in that first encounter area, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I really like that too, and it's a much more like accessible, for solo or people who can't raid, just like you say. It's slightly different, but it's
slightly different, but it's literally
cool.
It's a similar thing. Like you have to go to different symbols and kind of do the same thing, but. I just think it's really cool because, like you said, not everybody can, get a team together to do a raid or go on LFG or.
Yeah, I was brave and did LFG for this one because I was so excited. And well, we could have a whole episode about that experience, but we did get through it. And my buddy, my clanmate Zekin, was able to help us pull it out at the end there for the last 2 encounters. That it was really funny, like without spoilers, but it was really funny how like things got progressively more complicated as you go through, and then when you get to Rolk, it's like no, you're cool, buddy. We made it simple for this part.
Well, yeah, I mean,
simpler.
Yeah, but it does still use the same symbols. It uses the same symbol matching as the last encounter. It added the pervasive darkness.
It
did add
in
something.
Contest mode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I guess like we were thinking like when we first got in there, we were thinking we were gonna have to pull symbols like 3 times for like each time, and it was actually no, it's just once, and you can. It was just after like. As complicated, and I guess we were just also having a rough time not really knowing each other. But as complicated as like the previous room seemed, I was like, oh, this is a lot nicer. This is a lot. I can wrap my head around this pretty well. And then and of course, like non-contest mode. So like me being like at or
Yeah.
over level, I'm just like, this is fun.
Oh yeah. Like we did the raid yesterday, non-contest, and we just kind of breezed through it. It was really funny. We all just kept laughing about how easier it was. It's like, what's funny is most teams got stuck on caretaker, which I get it. It's very, I don't say complicated, but it's a lot of different juggling. Like you have to have a team that's stunning. You have to have a team that's getting the symbols. You have to have a team that's ad clear. But what's funny about that encounter? So funny story. So we were doing it. We were kind of struggling a little bit, and then Kelsey and I, or my girlfriend and I, we were both on ad clear because I run my Doomfang Pauldron build, which is probably the most broken build I've ever made in my life. It's my pride and joy. Because I clear ads, I heal all my buddies, I get resist. It's Taylor, I sent you the clip of it during hard mode Wellspring. It's fun. I make things explode. I'm in my super a really long time. I generate orbs for everyone. It's great. I also give overshield every time I pop super.
Can confirm. Like I tried it out a little bit on my Titan, but Titan is still got in the back seat mostly for my gameplay. But one of my good friends, also named Taylor, has been trying your build, and he came back to me, and he was like, Taylor B, like this build fucking rocks. So yeah, you heard it from Tay's best friend Tay.
Other Taylor. But yeah, so I was running that, and Kelsey was sitting on one of the ledges up top, and she was just looking. And then she looked at the people who kept opening and closing the door, and then back to the ads, and then back to the door. And she's like, you guys, we're making this way too complicated. Every time you open the door, more ads spawn. And everyone's like, oh. And once we figured that out, bam, we got it. It was so funny. It was so funny.
I love it. Yeah, that's really, it's a really fun raid, guys. I gotta say, like it, for that part, I was the number one stunner.
You were one of the stunners, yeah. I was one of the stunners, but then, we swapped and had my buddy Halo because he didn't really have like an ad. He had one of the damage supers, so he was running Star Eaters and Tether. So he couldn't really help with ad clear as much. So he's like, what if we swap? So me running my ad clear super, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm stupid. So we swapped, and then we got it.
I got inspired by that, and I was working on sort of like tweaking my Invis Hunter build. It's the popular one, just like a little more suited to my taste, everyone. So it's the stylish flourish, and then suppressing glaive, and then you're glaving everything, and you're invisible all the time, and then you got Omni-Oculus on, and you also have the other part of Void 3.0 where your smoke bomb can make you invisible too.
Oh yeah.
So I was, especially being like, not in contest mode, I was one of the higher level people on the team. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, like you can survive if he smacks you accidentally. Like, you go have fun with the boss. And then I would just like, I don't know, it became this kind of well, you did it too. It becomes this kind of like fun like little dance, like go up and like punch him like an ant standing up to you or something. Like
you have to like bait him almost. It's kind of funny.
I would just go up and punch him with the glaive.
That's funny. You're just like punch. That's great. But yeah. What's funny is we got stuck on the third encounter. The ad clear one, because that on contest that everyone had to swap to ad clear supers. It was a lot of juggling back and forth, and but we got it eventually. I don't really know how we got it, but we got it. Because we could get to like the third room, because basically there's the 0th room where you first start, and then the first room, and then the second room, and then the third room. We could get to the third room, or through the second to the third, which is like the last room. We'd only gotten to that last room only a couple times. Like, when we first got there, like, all right, we're done, right? We're done. And then we open the door. We put the stuff in. The door opens. It's another room. And we're like, you gotta be kidding me. Again? Really? But, We ended up like assigning who does what at what part, and that definitely made it easier. And then Rolk was interesting. He is a very
Yeah.
He is literally my raid team. We jokingly call him Dio because he is very flamboyant and extravagant and full of himself.
And he doesn't what is it? He doesn't like you think he's walking, but he's really flying.
He
Sassily.
really is. Like there was a video on Twitter. I don't know if anyone has seen it, but it's really funny. So this guy, he's hiding behind one of the pillars where you dunk in the final boss area up top.
Mm-hmm.
He's hiding behind the pillar, and he's last guardian's dead, and the boss literally walks around. He's literally walking on the air flamboyantly and just kicks him in the face.
I think that's one from one of the Japanese Guardian Twitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one's so cool. He just like sassily like walks around and you can see him like creating like force to stand on. He's actually like boop ratio.
Yeah, he just like bank, you've been ratioed. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I love it.
But
did you guys have fun with the Font of Might build?
We actually
Like,
did not
tagging that
use.
on?
We did not use the Font of Might build at all.
Ooh.
We used a Charge with Light build and high energy fire
Okay, that's really cool.
because we needed
yeah.
people to be generating orbs anyways because of Star Reader scales. So we're like, oh hey, let's just, since everyone's going to be generating orbs anyways, let's just all swap to Charge with Light builds. So we ran, we didn't run Protected Light, we ran High Energy Fire, so we did Taking Charge, picking up orbs, charges you with light, High Energy Fire, and then we ran both Powerful Friends and Radiant Light, just to keep everybody charged when you pop supers and stuff, and then I also ran Supercharged, so then I could keep more charges. And that helped a little bit with clearing ads and stuff. We had my buddy Dave. They were the divinity person, and they were running Aeons, which helped a lot with everyone getting heavy. And also, for some reason, don't run ammo finders in the final encounter, because that's bugged, and if you don't run ammo finders, you get more ammo. And if you run ammo finders, you get no ammo. It makes no sense. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
I was getting away with I had space in my armor for 2 Fonts of Might, and it's not really worth it to the point I would use or recommend any of the exotic glaives. Well, I haven't used the Warlock one. That one might actually be cool, but just because of the way their sort of like extra perk works. Everyone listening, I'm sure you know Lucy. But I was running that, and I was like actually having a pretty good time because I was double stacking it and then throwing in my my Omnioculus. I think is and maybe they all are at base, but it is a stasis. So I threw on that I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that mod that give anything that gives you like a boost now stacks and extends the boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like 2 takes you from like gives you 16 seconds. I tested out 3 too, and I think I remembered this from before. Like 3 only gives you 20, so like it's not worth it. but 2 is worth it. Someone else way longer before me figured it out. But so that was cool, especially for running around that part because we had a lot of warlocks on the team. And they were just kind of like puking up orbs, like, which was a lot. Oh, dude, Oh, by the way, everyone, if you didn't realize this, this episode is sort of reactions, hot takes, and predictions to this DLC in this season, sort of combined as one. They released together, and I feel like they're so intertwined you can't really split them.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to actually spit out the topic that you're listening to today about 15 minutes in.
Whoopsies, this always happens.
It's okay. It's okay. It's good radio. It's good radio. We got this. Yeah, I really like what they've done with Rolk and that whole encounter. Like it was so much fun. Just absolutely baller. And what's really funny is, Lizzie, how did you feel about, like, I was trying my best to listen, and I've gotten to the point that I have like my chat audio in my cans in my headphones, but I'll have my game audio with subtitles like happening through my speakers. So, I can just pop them off. I can still listen to stuff, or if like I need to kind of do both, I can read at least. I was lucky enough to hear what he says, like as he's dying, like when you read him, like the change in the actor's voice when he finally realizes his like that like hint of worry that's been in the back of his head since he started down this path that the Guardian comes in to stop. As the story of the raid, when he finally gives in to that like sort of despair and like lack of confidence in himself.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe and everyone, for a character who I'm sure is going to get a lot of lore, a lot of placement, even more so than they have already, but for a character that we just kind of are introduced to, that's been a player in the overall story for longer than we've been aware of them. I think this might be some of the yeah.
Rolk, I know a lot of people joke and call him a Chad, but I think he's kind of he's literally not kind of insane. He's literally insane. Like as a child, there was like one of the like family pets, I guess. He literally skinned it alive because he wanted to. He literally killed all of his family. He killed all of his entire species, actually.
And their son.
Yes, he killed pretty much. Yeah, he was like, all right, well, see this? It's God now. Adios. So yeah, he's crazy. That's not even like the most craziest thing he did. Probably, I think personally, the most craziest thing our boy Rolk did is he, the witness was like, hey Rolk, I need you to go to Fundament. And he basically I'm not sure if the witness knew about the hive, but I think he mentioned it. I have to go reread the beginning part again. But basically, Rolk went to the Fundament. La-di-da-di-da. Well, not more la-di-da-di-da, more screaming rage, because that's all Rolk is. And he swam, mind you, in the Books of Sorrow, Savona, Zyvo, and Arash, they needed a spaceship. A ship to get down into the depths of the Fundament. Rolk just swam. And then the Leviathan is like, hey, don't go down there. You'll drown in the deep. And then Rolk literally rips one of the ribs out of the Leviathan. And he says, I will rise. And then just keeps going. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then it gets better. He's down there and the worm gods are like, they're kind of weak at this time because they've been trapped there. They're kind of dying. They're kind of wimpy. And the mother of the worm gods, Zita, mother of the worm gods, was talking to him. And they basically, the worm gods and Rolk, come to an agreement and kind of work together and shake hands. Not literally, because I don't think the worms have hands. But a figurative agreement. And then the Rolk is like, hey, worm mommy, Zaitu, hold this. And she holds on to the Leviathan bone. He's like, all right, bye. And then he just takes the worm mom, Zaitu. He just takes her. Adios. And, yeah, that's what the giant worm is in the raid.
Yeah.
Which is absolute. Like, I have that clip saved when I first saw it, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is that? What is that? Oh god, it's the final. Because at the time we didn't know what Rolk was. I was like, is the final boss going to be a worm god? Are we going to have to fight that thing? That thing is huge. It's massive. It makes Zol look like a little baby. which he was the weakest of the worm gods. But, like, that's how big the other worm gods are supposed to be. Jesus Louises, we have our work cut out for us. What did you think of the caretaker?
I thought the caretaker was, for being like a giant abomination, stylized like character. I thought the caretaker was a really, what's the word? It was a really interesting.
I just think the lore
fight.
of the caretaker is really interesting because as you go through the raid.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, not, but just both. Just both. Both is good. Talking about both lore and encounter. Encounter-wise, I thought it was really interesting. I liked that you have to split into teams and kind of juggle.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I thought that was cool. Because it's like not any one person is not... You're not just standing around doing nothing. You have to do something.
Which lore did you mean about the caretaker?
Oh, you know he's a hive worm scorn hybrid, right?
What? I did not know that part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is.
That's awesome.
Because if
I'm
you
still
look,
consuming stuff, admittedly.
It's okay. I have consumed all of the knowledge. But basically, caretaker. as you go throughout the raid, you'll see on the wall and these almost like cryo frozen looking plaques. These scorn, but they have like worms on their heads. Looks really creepy. And we know because the worm mother is basically a giant worm factory in the raid that he's basically been experimenting because Rolk really doesn't like the hive. He thinks they're weak and cringe, and he thinks he's better than them. He thinks he's better than the worm gods. He thinks he is literally like second to God. He's very full of himself, and that's why we beat him, because he's so arrogant. And so he's looking at the scorn, which are basically undead husks filled with literal darkness. And he's like, worms, which give them paracausal powers, mush them together and you get super darkness people. And this caretaker is the first, like, one of the first successful darkness-infused worm scorn hybrid thing, which is creepy as hell. So my guess is maybe over the course of this year, maybe we'll see more of those types of enemies, assuming.
Well,
maybe.
You know, have you gotten the so if anyone doesn't know, you can find 6 in one go, but you can find in that first area of the preservation and the raid itself room, you can get the sun, what's it called? The sun
Shattered
Sun Lord book.
Yep.
And then you can also, if you complete that, that's great lore, but then you also get like the ghost shell as a reward. And in the ghost shell, he's trying to do something similar to ghosts.
Ah, yes. That lore, the lore of the ghost shell is really kind of interesting because it's a ghost talking to Rolk, and then at the end, something speaks through the ghost, and then destroys the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there is...
Adversary.
Yes, they said...
Rolk says that to them.
No, yes, the ghost says, disciple of the dark. And then Rolk is like, adversary? And then the ghost says, this one is not for you. And then it explodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is very interesting. I do love that shell though, because I think you may have saw me like being a dork about it, but it has a little cloak, has a little cape. Little cape on the back. Little hunter boy.
Little hunter boy.
Hunter ghost confirmed.
Yeah.
Batting its eyelashes at you. It's oh man. And yeah. Dude, just learning what's been going on a little bit, getting a taste of what's been going on the darkness side of things.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this guy who this disciple of the witness who we see at the end of the campaign with Savathun, and that's one thing I wanted to say too. Like Rolk, Savathun, Rolk's actor, Deborah Wilson.
They're
for
all so
Savathun.
good. They're all so good.
They're all so good.
Oh
They're
yeah.
all so good.
We haven't even started talking about the seasonal stuff yet. Like I love how
Right?
I mean, with past seasons, there's with like, for example, Season of the Hunt. It didn't really mesh with what was going on in Beyond Light. Like it was happening, but it didn't really like relate at all. Kinda. Same thing with Season of Undying. Like it didn't. I mean, yeah, it kind of, because the Vex are on the moon and Shadowkeep took place on the moon, but it didn't really feel like it was like a result of the campaign. Where with Season of the Risen, it is like literally, it's supposed to happen concurrently, I think, with the campaign.
Yeah,
I think
it's all happening at once.
it's all happening at once, because you got
Yeah.
some Guardians are dealing with Savathun in the Throne World, some Guardians are helping Zavala and Keitel try and figure out how the Lucent Brood got the light. I mean, we know now, but even if Savathun is dead, air quotes, I say air quotes because she's not dead. She's just, Guardian down, dead. All it takes is for Amaru to sneak on in there and res her, and then boom. Everything's peachy. Also, Amaru is very interesting. I think something's wrong. I think something's wrong with him. Something's up with him. He's got I won't say a few screws loose, but something is up with him, and I can't put my finger on it. It's like in the Amaru lore tab, which is not currently out yet. You can read it on Ishtar. It's him and Savathun having a conversation, and I don't know, just some of the word choice and everything, that he just seems like a very angry ghost. He's very edgelordy, and we know from some of the dialogue that Ghost had during doing some patrols that Ghost actually knew who Amaru was before Amaru was.
Oh, and then didn't tell us his fucking name.
He didn't tell us his name. I'd be like, yo, Ghost, you could have told him you told us his name. Maybe we would know who that is. But
We could investigate so much if you'd share.
Ghost just probably forgot. Ghost is forgetful. Ghost is cringe. But I digress. Basically, Imaru has always been kind of, I wouldn't say a bad apple, but kind of a bad apple, I guess. Like, he's been he would bully other ghosts. He'd be like, screw you, I'm cool, you're lame. And like, I don't know. I hope we get a little bit more lore about Imaru besides just that one page, because I'm just curious about, like, why is he the way he, like, why is he so mad at human guardians?
I think because and this is me reaching, and I hope Lucy, let me know if my word choice is poor and I should reword, but I think he's kind of like what happens if ghosts could be incels.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, our ghost is talked about, and, like, granted this could be retcon, but, like, there is a little bit of dialogue communication with who people are. If you remember the 343 pod that our ghost had even, like, interacted with, and before they resurrect with without their memory. What if Amaru kept getting rejected? And what if the person did accept other ghosts? Like, another ghost after him.
I could see that. Like, I mean, as we've seen, I mean, like, Imaru has been looking for his guardian a really long time. Same with all of these, like, wayward ghosts that were obsessed with the Books of Sorrow. Like, I could definitely see him, like, getting really jaded. A lot of the ghosts kind of did in the lore. They would get, like, really jaded when other ghosts would find their guardian, and they didn't. They couldn't find theirs. So I could definitely see that taking its toll on a lot of them. And then reading the Books of Sorrow, and they're like, oh, hey, we need to, like, broaden our search a little bit. We're so focused on humans, but what if we broaden it to Hive?
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that.
Well, then that also kind of rings true too. Like, what if it was always the hive? I mean, like pulled pork had been now Glint uh, had been searching for their guardian. Just pretty much the entire story. I think the entire like part of the story post collapse that has a timeline has Glint looking in odd places, like literally everywhere, for their guardian. And then the problem was their guardian wasn't dead yet.
Yeah.
And then when Aldrin finally dies, Glint's just like, "Oh, Q Q Q," like,
There you
gotcha.
are. I found you.
Yeah.
I do think
That.
it's ironic, though, that maybe Imara was always supposed to res Savathun and just Savathun hadn't died yet.
Mm-hmm. She'd hit her death,
Exactly, but now.
so she couldn't die.
But then she dies. But what's interesting, though, what is interesting is that if you read the lore of the Glaives, I think it goes. Yes, it goes. If you read the Warlock Glaive lore, then the Hunter lore, then the Titan lore, it explains how Savathun went from, as we saw in the cutscene, dead,
Mm-hmm.
to still kind of knowing who she was a little bit and leading the hive and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting. And, because basically the gist is that, let me find the Warlock one. Is this the Warlock one? All of the pictures of them look the same. Is this the Warlock one? No, this is the last one. I get them all mixed up. They all look the same to me, like the pictures. Like, I'm like, which one is which? Bungie.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it goes, Edge of Concurrence, yes, it was, it goes weapon, it goes Edge of Intent, Edge of Concurrence, and then Edge of Action. Is, which is really interesting. I wish they would give us a full lore book, because it says this is an excerpt from a book.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
It's always the little bit of mystery. There's always a little missing piece.
I just liked it because basically she died and then she was reborn as the witch Radiant, and then the ghost basically said, "You are the god of the chosen krill, the hive. You are the mother of cunning and lies. You are the first of your kind, gifted with light, which is the paracausal force of the sky." And then she asked her ghost, "Yo, where do I go?" And then her right hand wizard showed up and was like, "Hey, hello, I am here." Then Savathun returns to her throne world. She addressed her brood, and then she said, "My children, I know the truth, and out of love for you, I will share it." Before them, she killed her most trusted witch in a transcendent blaze of light. This witch became first of the Lucent, the first resurrected in the image of the queen herself. So that's how, late in the campaign, you fight Savathun's right hand, who is a wizard. A Lightbearer wizard.
Mm-hmm. One thing I thought that was really cool about that interaction, too, is that I think that's correct. I think if they die by if they die by means that maybe don't target the worm, like because I'm pretty sure that's what Savathun's doing here. I think you have a situation like what I've always believed happened at the end of King's Fall, which as Lucy has predicted, we probably are going to be seeing again here soon. But Oryx kind of gets consumed by his worm and becomes like a poop orbiting Saturn.
He becomes a cocoon.
Because I feel like, does the worm just go dormant till someone finds it again then?
I'm not sure.
Or actually, his worm's in the no, that's his heart. Yep, I don't know.
I'm not sure
I
either.
don't know.
But basically, yes, and then basically, she goes to her throne world, and then the last one is she returns to her lure, and the witch basically leads her to the statue. And funny enough, that statue is actually a statue of Rolk in the first mission. It's just his legs. You don't see the rest of him, just his legs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She stole his weapon tech.
Because he uses the glaive. That's from his palm planet.
Oh, and one cool feature is the glaive. Sort of, it looks like almost like a dissection, like a blueprint. But that glaive that's behind him in the boss fight is his father's glaive.
Yes, I did see that. That was very cool.
That's so wild. I really like how they've interconnected all the different sides in what's going to be that culminating conflict. Because I feel like what's coming next has got to be what's going on the other side. Because I think we have kind of like we're going to learn more. But we need to learn something about the Traveler now, and I think that's got to be what's coming in Lightfall, right?
Mm-hmm. Did you see the puzzle in the raid where it's the story?
Yes.
And, it was like basically every time you do the raid, you get a symbol on this wall. It's after the caretaker encounter. And basically, someone put it all together of what it actually is, and it's basically the ending one. We don't know what the ending one is.
Probably come with Master.
Basically, it's because it uses the different symbols from the raid. It says Hive and Scorn love the darkness. They worship the Witness. The Pyramid Fleet enters Earth to stop the Guardians. The Witness communes with the Traveler and drinks the light. The Witness kills Redacted.
Ooh.
Yeah, because basically someone basically went through all of the different streamers and pieced it together when they looked at this wall, and you could figure out what the puzzle is. And I think that's really interesting. Because my guess is this is Lightfall's story, or at least a tease of it, maybe.
It's got to be something. There's no way that's not meaningful, because that's really cool. I've only completed the raid the one time, so like I had no idea. That's so cool.
Yeah, because I went back through my footage when I was making a video about it, and I noticed we had, for our first time, we had the Witness. So we had the Witness show up 3 times. And then this last time we did it, we had Guardian, so it showed up once. Yeah, so basically, I guess every time you do it, you get a little bit more of the story, but that last right corner one has always been blank for everyone, so we don't know who the Witness kills. It can't be the Traveler, because basically, if you saw, like, for example, for us, when we had the Witness, it showed the Witness all 3 times. And the Traveler already appears once. So it could be... I'm not sure.
I like it. Well, I mean, maybe not the Traveler. Maybe he kills the Guardian.
Maybe.
I don't know. Taste of things to come, because there is a Guardian symbol. So
there is. Who knows?
I want to know more. Click yes.
Yes, pretty much.
So that's I'm excited to see where that goes. And tangentially on the other side of this season, you have this effort that you kind of like see the beginnings of in the story mission. I think it's like the first one, or first or second one, between the Last City and the Cabal, like official alliance, and I don't know how to say it, but there is a lot of Kaitel Zavala shipping.
Yeah, I see a lot of people doing that. I mean, in the
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, love is love.
in the Witch Queen Collector's Edition lore, Ikora jokingly says to Zavala, "Have you considered a state marriage to Kaitel to further our alliance?" And Zavala's like, "Have you considered it?"
Yeah. Sassy Zavala.
Sassy Zavala.
Yeah, you know what, whoever you ship, I will say in a lot of the lore I've read, what she seems excited by is the idea of doing violence on Xivu Arath.
Yes.
Just end of thought. Ship who you want to ship. She is gonna. Ooh, and rip to Soulfire being a thing. That seems to be Hive Viscera. if some of her commentary is to be believed, she would like to bathe in Xivu Arath's Soulfire.
Yes.
Totally not creepy. Totally normal. Normal thought to have. But the getting a little back on track here. Sorry. The dialogue and the sort of like mission, the psyops that you go through. So anyone who hasn't done it yet, but is curious what we're talking about, the Cabal and the Tower are working together to try and figure out who these defecting Cabal that you fight in the story mission are. What the fuck? What's up with these guys? And who's like supplying them, who's funding them, and we're getting some hints that it's Callus from the darkness.
My guess is he's a disciple now, just like Rolk.
I'm curious. Yes, I agree. Yes, and I actually wonder if he potentially communed with something above the Witness.
Like the actual, like the winnower instead of the Witness. I could see that. What's very funny now is now that we know like how the Witness works and how he's basically going around to all the different species and basically getting the apex version of them, which is exactly what Callus was doing, and now we know Callus was doing it because he met the Witness or a disciple or something at the edge of the edge of the universe and saw the end of everything and was like, "Oh shit, I want to be like that. I want to do that." So now he's basically a mini Witness getting his shadows, which I think is very, very funny. He is teasing.
Makes me wish I had the shadow title. I wasn't able to get that one.
Yeah, that one was kind of a pain to get because we had to flawless the raid. That was probably the hardest. I did that twice because I'm crazy. Well, I got it for myself, and then Kelsey wanted to get the shadow titles. I was like, okay, that means we have to do the raid flawless. And she's like, oh god, okay.
I can dig it though. That's that is a cool one. And that raid was not having successfully done it twice is impressive because that raid was not always set up for success. But yeah. So and just so you guys know, I'm curious to get some definition on who Callus talked to. I agree with Lucy though. Lucy, it definitely, that sounds like some witnessy stuff, especially the more we learn about Rolk. And so getting a little back on track here. What the psyops are and what the after you get a couple weeks in through the stories of psyops, what you're going in and doing is you're capturing you're working with scions, you're capturing these Lucent Hive, and just because I really love the term, I'm gonna say that we're mind bending them. We're going into their mental plane. We're destroying Savathun's influence, which is like it's so fun. That's so fun. And then you can explain how like you could change that Bungie could change the map as weeks go on and the story changes, and it would totally fit. It doesn't all have to be like or it could be the same thing every time, just because they're projecting something that you're familiar with. Like it's genius from a story and like practicality standpoint. Like two, kudos Bungie for that deployment there. But you're going in, you're killing Savathun's influence, and then the scions are like capturing them, and you were like going in there. The scions are going in there invasively, and finding out in the helm, like in the tower, and figuring out like where's this influence coming from, on the Hive side, and then you get going back to why we mentioned Callus. You get a mission called Vox Machina, which is one of my favorite exotic missions. I think this one might be my favorite just because of all the stuff you could do. How about you, Lucy? How did you like Vox? Or Vox Obscura, not Vox Machina. That's the that's the tabletop show. Sorry.
I like it. It's all right. I mean, doing it on Master really sucks, and I hated doing it on Master, but otherwise it's fine. Like, I'm only doing it on Master once to get the catalyst, and after that I'm like, I see no reason to do this ever again. On Master.
Agreed. Yeah, Master's a little harsh, and you kind of need... I feel like Master was you kind of need something silly like 3 Hunters. Or like, just 3 people with good builds. And I know you guys could probably do it, no matter what class, but... you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah. And it is rough. It is rough. Yeah, we almost got to the... we almost got inside. But it just kept... Yeah, like one of us just kept getting obliterated, and it was just like, let me increase some light level before we try to come back in here. Because my buddy who I was doing it with was only 1550 for it, so he was punching up just to try to hang in there. Kind of rough, but anywho, everyone. So quite similarly, you're on this mission. You are going into this base that keeps getting repopulated again. Like I just love when they actually work in why you're doing something multiple times in the story.
Mm-hmm.
With like an in-story answer. So they think this base is being repopulated by clones, Callus's cloning facilities, like he had on the Leviathan in the baths. And you're going in, and basically what you're doing is you're hunting down and finding these scion traders who are, basically defecting. And it's this time crunch. Like, you start off, you're trying to get inside before an orbital strike comes in and just obliterates everything. So that the Cabal are sending, and what I love is they're just like, yeah, you better hurry. It's gonna be fun. And you start off having to take out tanks in an interceptor that you steal, and then Amanda sassily drops in a tank for you, and you use that to like break your way into the base. And then once you're in the base, you're like taking down all these scions that are like keeping up mental blocks of your target, because basically Kaitel's on the other end with one of her scions, trying to get in there and see like who's influencing this person. But you got to take down their mental blocks first. So you run through, and what's funny is their mental shielding ends up being actual kind of shielding too in the mechanics of the boss fight. But once you're inside, you're running through. If you're if you're like me, you're a hunter. It's like a lot of like invis, like jousty killing with the glaive, and you're running through and you're knocking out these scions that are protecting him. You're getting in the boss room, and then once you take him down, Kyle starts recanting a flashback, and it's giving her a different hint that gets us closer each week to it, like, you know, to figuring out exactly who's supplying these people and how. And so the suspicion being callous even in game.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
And it's so cool. It's so cool. Just like getting to ride the tank. Come on.
Yeah,
Need more tank missions.
we do.
Need more tank. You know, it's really funny. Even in the story, I really enjoyed going through the story missions. I feel like Bungie is like working in like more and more what to me are like little SRL teasers.
You're like, give the
like
SRL teasers.
Yes, dude. I know it's not everyone's favorite. I know it's kind of off the beaten path for the first person shooter MMO-ish game that this is. But I want to go fast. I want to go fast with my Guardian again. There are plenty of other games where I can go fast. I get it. But they gave me a taste. They took it away. Took it away in Destiny 2. So I want it back. I miss it. I want to go fast. Anyway. Lizzie, what did you think? Just the whole like crunch time investigation, because the season of the Risen stuff, the psyop stuff it stems from the story, of course, but I'm really loving how it's really pairing with the whole like gumshoe,
like investigation sort of thing. Yeah, no, I like it. I definitely think it's really good. Oh, I'm curious to see how it goes, because I definitely could say, I mean, anyone can really tell, there's definitely a lot of tension between Saladin and Crow about how to go about doing this. Because Crow is like, hey, this kind of is morally wrong. And Saladin is like, it doesn't matter. We have to protect the last city. You know, we have, like, you know, the grizzled, like, cop. And then we got, like, the new guy. The new guy who's all like, we should be doing the right thing. Yeah, I really like I really think it's interesting. I'm curious, like I said, I'm very curious to see where the story goes from here.
Same. I really want to see where it gets to. Okay. Is there anything else? I guess we could. Do you want to give a couple minutes to the story, or like the story missions itself?
What did you think about the story, Taylor? Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. You know, like I mentioned earlier, Deborah Wilson and just really all of the actors. But, you know, stand out, Deborah Wilson. Killed it in their delivery. I really like, you know, kind of like you were talking about earlier, I really like that all of the different pieces are finally starting. Those cogs are finally starting to turn together. They were turning themselves. They were turning like themselves, but now they're finally starting to come together, and you're seeing exactly how they interlock.
Yes.
And what's moving what piece. And that is so exciting, because figuring out, because really, like, if you think about it, and, you know, like, let me know what you think about this idea of sort of like structuring it. The main story is what the last city has, like, what's been going on within the last city is like culminating in all the things that have been going on with Sabathun and you know, intercity conflict and all that. That was sort of like a big resolution to all of that drama that we've been dealing with the last like couple of years, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you have the raid, which gives you this like new taste and sort of like cool background into, you know, this guy, the Witness, who, you know, his head is exploding with ideas about, like, my head is exploding in response to it, with ideas about about who he could be and what he could do. And then you get the raid lore, and then you get preservation, the mission after, where you get this insight into what's been going on the darkness side. So you're getting that part too. And then you have the psyops, which what I love about it is it's topical to all those other topics, but it's actually tying up some loose ends that, you and I, Lucy, on this show, and a lot of other people have been talking about for some time now. Like, what happened with Callus after the Glycon? Where, what's going on with the Cabal? Like, how does the Scorn interact with the overall like theme of darkness in the game? And then you have the raid like helping pick up answering those questions too, in side by side with these stories, and it's just so well executed.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
So, how about you? Like, I could word vomit all day about how much I'm enjoying it and have enjoyed it so far.
I really liked the campaign. I mean, I've only done it like at least 3 times. I really like it. I liked the mystery aspect, especially the first time. The first time going through it was really fun, especially the part with the Ahamkara. None of us expected that. We were just like, all right, mission over. And then the Ahamkara pops up, and I mean, like my friend said, we've all done Last Wish, but we're just like, what? I'm like, all right, DPS.
Go sword her fingers.
We It was so funny. We're just like a DPS. And then at the end, it does like the wipe mechanic. It does the wipe mechanic for the that you would normally get if you failed in Last Wish, but then it dies.
That was so cool.
I thought that was really funny. And then fighting Savathun in the final mission, and she just has a bubble and Blade Barrage and Nova Bomb, and it's just like, what are you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, and the amount of times it reminded me almost of if anyone's fan of like the Marvel shows in the cinematic universe, so like what used to be the Netflix shows. It reminded me of Mr. Purple. The way like you would think you just killed Savathun, or that you were about to get a chest or something like multiple times in the story, and then you just get frozen there.
Yeah.
Like, psych. Fooled you. Like you like it happens at I think the beginning and the end of and right before the ritual, the last mission, at the end of the story too. Like it's just so much fun. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was really well executed. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Instead of scoring, how about we go into hot takes and predictions.
All right, what's
Just
your hot take for this season / Witch Queen /
All right. Hot take. My hot take is that once again, moving into Lightfall, I think that's where we're going to start getting some more illumination. We're going to start seeing like those story pieces. I think when Beyond Light comes, I think
You mean the final shape? Beyond Light.
Final shape.
You keep saying Beyond Light.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
sorry. Sorry.
That already exists, my dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave this in because now that for everyone listening who is confused, I meant final shape. Yeah, I'm just a dork. Confusing things.
Okay.
I think when that comes, and with the story even going beyond that, I think we're going to keep getting a wider and wider picture of what's been going on until we can... The way they're tying this stuff up, my hot take is by the end of the final shape, this whole Light versus Dark saga will actually be pretty neatly put to bed before Destiny moves beyond the system, I think.
My biggest thing is I'm curious as to how Where can Destiny go beyond light versus dark? Because that's where my brain just goes, brain empty.
Yeah, but they keep positively surprising us so far. So I think
Oh
that
yeah, no, for sure.
I can't wait to see it when we get there. And as for hot prediction, so in one of the activities, I think it was the psyops that take place in the Cosmodrome. So this is like a currently happening like event, a currently mission. This is like a concurrent thing. We see more of House Dusk.
Yeah.
Crow, especially with how he's been reacting to seeing himself in not only the Hive Ghost, but in I think a lot of his enemies. Now that he has Aldrin's memories back, my hot theory: will Crow take his place as Kel of House Dusk back?
Not sure, maybe.
They're the only. I feel like they're the only ones left who could be saved from what he did as Aldrin. Because the scorn, like they're too far gone, and they lose a bit of themselves each time they get resurrected.
Yes.
I don't know if that'll end well for him, but like I'm starting to think he might get pushed back to as Crow correcting some of Aldrin's mistakes.
I could definitely see that. That would be cool. Like over the course of like this yearly narrative.
I think that would be cool. So that's my number one hot theory. My other one is that the next time we see Callus, we'll actually get to see his true form.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So how about you? How about you, Lucy?
I guess hot take. I don't know of any like hot takes except that I think the Hive are super cool and we should be friends with them. We're gonna be my hot take is we're gonna be friends with the Hive by the end of Witch Queen. And my because that's more of a prediction, but yes, yeah, that really is. That's more of a prediction. That's my prediction. I lied. Hot take. What do you mean when you say hot take? My brain is empty.
It's just however you as like a review of the story. Kind of, it doesn't have to be like specifically like a theory. It can be more broad. I guess it's kind of like a hot take. Like I think this based on just like kind of, as you're educated or like just kind of like how you feel in your seat right now.
Okay, I guess the hot take. I bet the next season is probably going to be Rasputin themed.
Ooh.
Because if you do all of the investigation board, you get something about Rasputin. That says case unsolved.
And you know what? Can I tack one on to your hot theory?
Yes.
I think from the Lucent Tales, I think the ghost that didn't want to kill the Hive Guardian, or not the ghost, the Lucent Hive, the Risen Hive, who didn't want to kill the Guardian ghost. So like it was like a human guardian. He had the ghost in his hand, and he didn't crush it. And his ghost sounding pretty brainwashed too, is like I-adding at him in the sword logic, like chastising him. Yeah. I think he might be a Lucent Hive sort of Mithrax?
Mithrax? Like Mithrax?
Mithrax, yeah.
He'll be our friend.
I think that's going to be...
I want a friend.
I think so. Or he might be like the start to maybe some of them being our friend, because if it's happening on that side too, part of me is thinking that the Lucent Tales, a lot of like figuring out what's going on with the hive ghosts, and I think it'll go beyond that, just that book.
For
Or
sure,
at least I hope it does. At least I hope it does. But I think that will that'll give us some insight into what happened, and if it is some sort of like influence that they might not have had otherwise from Savathun. That gives me more hope for that hive risen who didn't want to kill the little ghost buddy.
I just want to be friends with. I just want some Lucent Brood armor for my hunter, because my hunter's an edgelord, and I think it would be great. Like, I'm waiting for the Destiny Model Rip server to post the Lucent Brood models, and I'm gonna take the Thorn arm. I think I'll try to figure out some way to kit bash some armor together to make a Lucent Brood hunter armor set.
Ooh.
I'll figure it out. I'm smart.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, because I wanted to basically. I mean, like I looked kind of at one of them all. Because there's actually two different versions of every Lucent Hive guide. There's like a basic version, and then there's like a fancy version. The fancy version are like the named big bosses, like the ones we fight in Psyops are the named bosses. The ones we fight in the campaign that are like big named.
And then there's like the regular ones you find out in the world and stuff.
Yeah, the ones you find, the regular ones you find, those are just regular, just like normal ones. Those are like the there's like the major ones. Those are the normal ones, and there's the ultra. The ultra ones are the ones that are like the named, like the guys from Psyops and so forth.
I can dig it. Yeah. No, I've seen what you can do. I've seen what you can do with in the visual department. I'm sure you're gonna rock it.
Hopefully, that's the plan at least.
Going to rock it. Well, all right, Lizzie. I think I know who it's gonna be too. But while we wrap up here, going a little over. Got any shout outs this week?
Of course. I've got some shout outs for once. Shout out to my my raid team who helped us beat Valve Disciple on contest mode. I almost said day one. We're like, wait a minute, we didn't do it day one. We did it on contest. On contest, I'm like so proud of everyone and all of the effort and how much teamwork we did, because we all worked together and tried our hardest, and we did it. We actually did it. I'm so proud of all of us, and I love you guys all so much. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, congratulations to you and the whole team. Again, that's really impressive. If you're gonna have drama in your life over an extension and an emblem, just to lightly touch on thing on the community, man, you just get some more going on. You deserve it. Take care of your inner guy, because it's you can't even take it with you. like when the game's over, like it's gone. So just keep that in perspective. It's a digital thing.
Yes.
But yeah, congratulations again. You guys killed it. Absolutely.
Do you have any shout outs, Taylor?
What? I'm gonna give some shout outs to yeah, I got some positive shout outs too this week. I think I'm gonna give a shout out to High Quality, to my buddy Zekin, and just sort of getting back to some of our clan roots. Longtime listeners might remember that was the clan we came from when we back when we started the show, and yeah, it's just kind of it's nice to be home. So big shout out to Oz and Belly and Zekin, who got me and him actually finished the raid together. We'd done it separately up to like about the same point. And then when I was finishing mine, I was like, hey, man, gonna go fight Rolk. Want to come? And so we went and kicked his butt together. So that was a lot of fun, too. So, yeah, those are my shout outs. this week.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, everyone, be safe. It's still a crazy world out there. Encourage everyone who can to give. Situation in Ukraine, just maybe more locally, just do it, man. If you can help.
Heck yeah.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. You deserve the cool, clear water. Drink it up. It's good for your body. Your body will thank you. Get up, move around. Be sure you're doing your stretches. Sorry, I don't mean to be like a health thing. Everyone have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Toodles. Hats off, Guardians. That's it for this week's discussion. Have any questions or comments about this episode? You can reach out to us on Twitter @SpinfoilTheory or write us an email at spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. If you'd like to read our show notes, check out articles, listen to past episodes, and more, be sure to pay us a visit over at our website, spinfoiltheory.com.
The Lore Network.